You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it is just Sunday the 17th of November 2024. NaNoWriMo, I don't know why I keep saying this because I'm not really writing. Day 17, and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And you nearly didn't get a podcast today because I haven't really got anything to say. But then I've been fiddling around with social media today because it does appear that a lot of people are exiting Twitter rapidly, which I think is the right thing to do because it's kind of unpleasant on there now. Loads of people, there's no checks and balances on what's sort of said anymore. And I assumed that people were all leaving Twitter and going onto Threads, which is the sort of Instagram version of it. But no, apparently everybody's going to something called Blue Sky, and Blue Sky was actually created by the same person who created Twitter, and it really looks like Twitter and it works in exactly the same way. So I just thought, what the hell, earlier today, and set up Blue Sky. So I now have a Blue Sky account under my writing. So I've got ridiculous amounts of social media now. And then the next thing I thought was, does that mean I've got to update every single bit of social media separately? So, if I want to communicate something, do I have to go to my Facebook page, Instagram, and Blue Sky, and Twitter for now, and Threads? And I thought, there's got to be a way of doing this where I can use one app that sends stuff to all the other apps. And I found one, and I can't remember what it's called now. There's several of them. Hang on. It's called Buffer. And basically what you do is you can sign into all of your accounts from one place. And then when you want to do an update, you just put it into Buffer and tell it where you want to send it. Now, obviously, there are format differences. So, for example, you can only put one hashtag into Threads, whereas you can put lots into Twitter, X, or Blue Sky. But what you can do is basically create the post, and then it'll tell you, and then you can basically edit the ones for the individual things. And so, if I'm honest, the main reason I'm bothering to do the podcast today is because I want to test. It's pathetic, isn't it? I want to test it, so I'm going to send it out to all the different social medias as soon as this finished. I'm at the point where I'm ready to do the paper edit of chapter 37 of Empress. I've even printed it, so it's sitting there waiting for me to actually go through it. But I just, again, mentally have not been in the right place. I'm just feeling really weird. What I was supposed to do, so I actually booked 2 nights in London, tonight and tomorrow night, because I'm supposed to be going to see the Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast being recorded again in Leicester Square. And the idea was I was going to go down there tonight and have all of, have dinner in London, and then have all of tomorrow, and then go to the show in the evening, stay tomorrow night, and then come back at some point on Tuesday. And I had, weirdly, I got all panicky and weird earlier today, so I just thought, no, if you're feeling like this, better to be at home surrounded by your own stuff. So I ended up not going. Now, hopefully I'll feel a bit better tomorrow, and then I will get the train that gets me there. Basically, I can't remember what time peak time trains are. I'll Google it. And I'll catch train in, do a couple of bits in town, go and check into the room. I booked basically a private room in a youth hostel, and in theory they can't stop me checking in early, because actually I'm checking in late because it was yesterday I was meant to check in. But I'll give them a ring beforehand to make sure that's going to be all right. And then go and see the show, and it's going to be quite good. So it's got Andy Zaltzman on it tomorrow night, and he's just, spoiler for who won Taskmaster. So if you haven't seen the last episode of the current series of Taskmaster yet, pause it now and skip ahead about 10 seconds. But yeah, because Andy Zaltzman won Taskmaster this week, and because Richard Herring is a previous winner, it's going to be an interesting show. And he does have another guest, and I can't remember who it is. And then he's doing a show next week as well, but the only person he's got so far is Chesney Hawkes, and there is another guest going to be, and I don't know who it is. And if I was feeling a bit more normal, I would have just booked it anyway and just gone, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. Still feeling a bit odd and a bit strange, so maybe I won't. But yeah, so that's kind of my plan for tomorrow. Hopefully I will get on the train. And that's the other thing, I couldn't decide today what was the best way to get into London if I went. So I could have caught a bus into Northampton, and then the train from Northampton into Euston, and then the tube to where my hostel is, which is actually on the south side of the Thames. So it's not that close to Leicester Square and all those bits and pieces, but it's only about 20 minutes on the tube from Leicester Square, and it is a lot. It was cheap as well for London. It was pretty cheap. A private room 2 nights for 85 quid. So yeah, so we shall see. I will either go tomorrow or I won't. We shall see, and I might do some writing tomorrow or I won't. Time will tell. All right, thank you for listening. Take care. I'll hopefully report back at some point tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.